All right, what's going on, everybody out there? It is Ron Brown, the fitness professional extraordinaire. We're gonna now start using that. Entrepreneur, podcaster, martial artist, Harlem representative, Harlem and Bronx. I put Bronx in there too. And we got the brother, the wise OG in the building. How do you pronounce your name? Because I butcher people's names and I don't want to do that.
Appreciate that. It's first name is Agyei, last name is Tyehimba.
Agyei Tyehimba. Now that is obviously African. Now is that Swahili in its roots, or what is it?
No, Agyei comes from Ghana. In Ghana, Agyei is a surname. It would be like Smith is here. It's very popular surname. Actually, people use it as a first name too. Very popular in Ghana. And Tyehimba comes from Nigeria.
All right. Now, what made you pick both Ghana and Nigeria, which are like stars in the African, in the continent?
Well, it was really a matter of function. I had found out that my first child was being born, and I fasted for 30 days, and I said I'm going to change my name so my baby girl is not born with the white man's name. But when I looked in the African name book, I was looking for meanings that I wanted. So I saw some that I liked the way they looked on paper. I liked the way it sounded, but it didn't have the meaning I want. But these two had, actually I changed first, middle, and last, had the meanings I wanted. IJ is like saying he who liberates, he brings relief to the
Ah,
people.
got you.
Ajamu, he fights for what he wants. Taimba, we stand as a nation. So I was like, that's perfect for what I wanted.
Nice, nice, nice. So, Ajayi, that's A
Aj. It's like
Aj
saying a guy named Jay, he acts odd. That's Aj.
Aj. All right. So we Aj. So Aj. All right. I'm gonna just keep saying that because, like I said, I butcher people's name. You know what it is? I do group fitness, personal training, and massage in one day. So like, I'm seeing at least 50 people a day,
Mm.
different people. So it's like so many different names and things like that. So let's go right into it, brother. We're talking about the wise OG. Who is the real OG is the question. The man code every man needs. That's the subject of today. This is a podcast that we all need, pretty, especially nowadays. There was a code that was not really spoken of, but it was already understood back in the days, and nowadays, like anything goes,
Hmm.
So
For sure.
when we're talking about the wise OG manhood code, what gave you the inspiration to write this book?
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. And first, let me say that I'm blessed to be breathing. I'm blessed to be alive. I'm grateful to be alive, to be here with you. I'm grateful that you thought enough of me to invite me and to share your platform. I don't take these things lightly. Um, so, to your question, who is the real wise OG? Well, the real wise OG is a fictional character I created. That's the simple answer. If people look behind me in the background at that book cover, that's my latest book, or his latest book through me, obviously. That's a picture of the real wise OG. So you see, he's a brown skinned black man. He's an elder. He got the gray coil afro look, the beard, the white beard. He represents, he symbolizes a culmination of great black men that I had in my life as a young brother coming up, be they my dad, his brothers, my uncles, my grandfather, teachers, professors, um, coaches, football coaches, community activists, black business owners, and just brothers in the hood. They'll be like, yo, bro, we see you going back and forth to school. We see you with your football gear on. That dude you hanging with is a knucklehead, man. He's heading for trouble. I'm not judging him, but I think you should stay away from him. just come up to you. Brothers that school me. So he is the archetype that represents all of those brothers, man, in one fictional character.
Mm.
And I wanted it to be a fictional character because you know how people, man, we can get real funny. They don't like my beard. Oh, he should have combed it over there. Look at that boy, big old nostrils. Look at them old glasses he got. And so they completely not focusing on the message, right? So I said, if I use this is a faceless channel, the Real Wise OG YouTube channel is faceless. I'm not on it. It's my voice. Sometimes I have a AI created voice, but he is the front man. He's the guy. So you're not gonna get too caught up on what he look like or don't look like. Matter of fact, all the ladies in love with him. You can see the comments I get from the ladies. Oh, he fine, including my lady. Oh, you fine. So this way, that's on lock. They don't get caught up in the person. I don't want them to get caught up in my personality, how I talk, how I look. Focus on the message. With him, you got to focus on the message. And one of the things you said about the code, man, is real because the reason that I got into doing this channel and created him is because, man, I've had these encounters with brothers. I'm gonna say within the last year and a half that was off the hook. I mean, I'm not even gonna recount them specifically, but in one case, a 20-year-old brother wants me to mentor him, help him out, and he winds up low key threatening me with guns. Just weird over the phone. Weird. Just weird out of nowhere. Another guy, he's a little younger than me. Supposedly, I'm gonna say conscious and brilliant. I'm gonna say that too. But very argumentative, brother. Very combative. I'm consistently saying, "Oh, bro, that's all right. We could disagree. It's no big deal."
Right.
But he is. I'm trying to sign. I'm like trying to wave this guy around like a matador. Like, yo, it's all right, brother. Let's not get stuck on that. And it's like he wants to fight. So I said, brother, I'm sorry, I got too much work to do. So I can't. I'm not here to do that. Maybe when I was 20, maybe. I'm 58 years old, brother. I'm not gonna be arguing with no grown man back and forth. We're not doing that. And so I saw a number of weird. I had a number of weird. There's no better way I could describe it. Weird encounters with black men, younger, my age. I may even had one older. And I said, this is happening for a reason. I'm supposed to make some sense out of this. And then I'm watching the news. I'm looking at the statistics. And it dawned on me, black men are in crisis. I don't know if people really appreciate that. Because obviously our sisters are in crisis too. So we tend to do a lot of story on the sisters. But the brothers, I said, the more I started reading, I said, wow. And that's when I said, I'm going to target the brothers. I'm going to work to rescue and reclaim our brothers, to restore their spirit. They're demoralized. Many of them in and out of jail, was using or selling drugs. They down on themselves. And I'm like, no, we can turn the corner. Malcolm did it. We can turn the corner. I know a lot of brothers that was in and out of jail that transformed their lives. And we got brothers that's going to college, are doing it the so-called right way. And they got no emotional intelligence. They think it's all about getting drunk, getting high, running through the different sisters.
Right.
Sometimes they don't see the beauty in their own black women. So whatever black man you are, whatever station you are in life, we're in crisis. I don't care if you got money, came from money, if you was on the street, if you was in the streets. We all need help and healing and some guidance, man. We need to get on code, my brother.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. Get on code.
Right. Now, I want to rewind a little bit. So you said you looked at statistics, which I think is a very important piece that we don't look at enough, even though statistics is not necessarily all right and exact, right? But that is a reference point that we can start with, right? Statistics. So when you said you look at the statistics, what statistics are you analyzing?
Well, I was looking at a lot of stuff. I'm trying to pull something up. Give me one sec.
Okay.
Trying to pull up.
Shouts out to everybody on the chat, anybody viewing now. Also, keep in mind we have super chat. Understand we are trying to build this brand and keep building to a bigger brand. So hit that like, share, comment, hit the super chat. We are also on what is it called? Cash App at $NYP Talk Show. $NYP Talk Show. If you want to donate from $100 to $5, we'll take it. You know what I'm saying? You know, help the brand out.
Yes, sir. I'm ready for you, my brother.
All right. So you want me to add? Okay, I don't see. Okay.
So one 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 group of the statistics are what we might call quantitative data, and another part is qualitative. So some of it is more this percentage of that, and some is more quality of life. So I got some of these from American Medical Association. I got some from a few magazines, and I got some from the census. But just to give people an idea, and when you look at these statistics, man, it's difficult not to believe that black men have been and are being targeted for persecution, exploitation, and elimination. Right? We're 6% of the U.S. population, black men, but 32% of the people in prison. That is unbelievable. 5 times. That's like ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
We earn less money, have less financial assets, and greater unemployment than just about every group in this country. We
Even
commit suit. Say again?
even Hispanics?
Yes, sir.
Less than Hispanics.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
But see, that's almost another show. But that's because they do what we used to do and get involved with cooperative economics. So they may not have a lot of money, but they pool together, live together in one apartment. They do different things, but that's another story. But we commit suicide, black men, at 4 times a greater rate than that of black women, and are approaching. So white men still have the greater numbers of suicide, straight up numbers. But they said in the last 10 years, black men are approaching a point where they're getting ready to surpass the suicide statistics for white men. And the greatest age group is 20 to 24 years old. These are babies, brother.
Right.
Right? Also, if no other statistic gets people's attention, black men have the shortest lifespan of anybody in this country. That, I don't know about you, but when I read that and heard that, it takes your breath away. Because we could talk about a lot of things happen. This one got it hard, and we got it hard, and they got it hard. But when you say you're dying earlier than everybody on the planet, excuse me, in the United States,
Right.
whoa, that's
Crazy.
whoa, brother. That's something, man.
Let me address
And-
the chat real quick. Pardon me. Peace have been in the building. Peace, and love, brother. We got Chaotic Supreme in the building from the desert, from Queens. Peace, brother. What's up, man? Let's go into my bad. Pardon me, I mean to cut you off. Sometimes I gotta address the chat.
Nah, it's all good, bro. So that gives you a taste, but now there's the qualitative statistics, the stuff that's not in books. And it's this idea that increasingly black men are reporting that they're feeling lonely, misunderstood, and socially isolated. That even when they're amongst people, they feel alone. More and more black men are describing symptoms that would not clinically be called depression because they mask it under maybe anger or other things, but more and more black men are depressed. Then you got more and more black men are struggling to get work. Black men are struggling to be in meaningful relationships. I mean, it's a lot, that's not written in hardcore statistics.
Right.
And I don't want to overly simplify
Hmm.
what our situation is, because there's numerous factors that explain what I'm calling the crisis confronting black men. But also, we need to understand that these things were in play when we were younger. I'm 58. I grew up in the 80s in Harlem. I was in my teens and young adult before going to college, right?
Hmm.
And I don't know if people really understand how violent it was. But
I
but
do.
Atlanta, let me say it like this. Atlanta, no, Chicago was the had the highest murder rate last year. You know how many people were killed in Chicago last year altogether? 416 people. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Now check this out. From 1980 to 1990 in New York City, the murder rate was over 1,000 every year, sometimes 1,500, and sometimes 2,500 murders, brother, in a year. Now this is the 80s. Right? I'm telling you what happened last year. 416 murders in Chicago was the biggest murder rate. And I'm telling you, where we came up was 1,000, 2,000 murders a year. So people can understand the difference between 416 and 2,000,
Brother,
right? So,
brother, hold on. We talking about New York City, right? At
yes,
that
sir.
time, brother, I was really young in the 80s anyway. I was like a baby, right? But the tension, it was so thick. It was like a dark cloud. It's like you felt it walking around, the crack vials everywhere and all that, crackheads, people getting robbed right in front of you. Like I'm seeing this as a kid,
Yes,
so
sir.
and then the kids that I would go to school with, man, I had to fight because I don't know what these, as I think back, what were those kids going through at home?
Yep.
But yeah, continue, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna add to that description, that picture you're painting, so people can get it. Because people from other parts of the country, we tend to get in these geographic. I had it worse. I don't play the Olympics of pain.
Right.
I'm not trying to compete with no brother who had the most pain, but I do think people need to have some a reference point when we say violent. This is violence a lot of people don't know nothing about. Because I just told you the statistics for last year, right? So look, I'm talking about, it was so violent. I remember being on the train and seeing a sister sitting across, had the little rope chain with the name chain, and a dude the windows went straight down back then. You reach right through that, snatch her joint off and run,
Yeah.
taking people's coats, sheepskins,
Yeah.
people getting knocked out, taking the sneakers off their feet.
Right.
I mean, this is a whole gangs everywhere.
Right.
It was crazy.
Abandoned buildings.
Man, 145th Street now is all co-ops, condos. Looks nice
Right.
going down the hill. I'm talking about now Amsterdam, all the way down to, like, say, 8th Avenue. Man, that was all abandoned, brother. It was hollowed out, bricks, glass, crack houses, prostitution, all types of stuff going on there. So the point I'm saying is that we had to develop a code for survival, right? So when I got my little summer youth check in high school, 10, 15 of us went downtown to cash that check.
Mm.
My
Ah,
other my other boy went, 10, 15 of us went with him. They intimidate people. They don't smile as much. And they carry themselves a certain way. They're not laughing real hard as much. We talking about the men,
mm.
and all this. And that comes from, because we had to learn. Don't be out here goofy. The older men said, don't be out here one of these goofy dudes, man. Always laughing, giggling. You're making yourself a mark. Don't always be running your mouth. They say men don't do that. Men ain't all allowed. Men have to observe. We have to be protectors. So to protect, you got to see what's going on before it happened.
Right.
But you can't do that if you all caught up running your mouth. So a lot of things came from that era. And some of them were probably a little much. but times are a little different now. But what I saw is this, brother. One thing that we knew we had to do. It's one of the rules. This is the book. One of those 26 rules is you must know how to defend yourself. I don't give a damn if you believe in Jesus and you going to the Baptist church. You in the mosque. You Israelite. You better learn how you got to be able to defend yourself.
Right.
I'm not saying you got to be Jim Kelly and Bruce Lee and Jim Brown in one, but you got to be able to throw these and defend yourself and get people off of you. That's real. I fought all the time because where I grew up, I went to a Catholic school. So when I came back on my grandmother's block with the slacks and the black shoes and the white shirt and the gray tie, I stood out.
Right.
So I would get people would mess with me. I had to fight. I wasn't a dude that liked to fight. I had to fight. And then eventually I learned really how to fight. I didn't know how to fight, but I fought.
Right.
So my point is, a lot of what I'm talking about in the book comes from the environment I came out of, the things that my dad told me. Stay off the corner. What's the big deal, Dad? Stay off the corner. The white man is in those police vehicles. They're tinted. They're taking pictures of you. I thought he was out of it. I was like, man. And my father was sharp. I loved him, but I was like, nah, I ain't doing all that. And then years later, I found out they're exactly doing just what he said. Taking pictures of people, seeing you. This may be my boy I grew up with. He may be into some stuff. I'm not into it, right? But they put you in a book. He was right. So little things, stay off the corner. He said, oh, wait, when you go to a place, get where you're going. Don't be standing in front running your mouth. Go to where you're going. When it's over, take your behind home. Because he said where the trouble starts is right before the event and right after. And he's right again. Right? So there's a lot of things. Don't interrupt old people. If they sound crazy and they talking too long, let them rock. Listen to what they're saying. Take what's good and leave what doesn't work. Right? Stuff like that is in the book. Because even though it's not as violent today as it was, it's just good stuff. Stuff like be humble. Be humble. There's people that grew up in the neighborhood that didn't make it out.
Right.
And they weren't bad guys. Maybe sometimes they didn't know. That is probably not the thing you should say right here, right now. That's probably not wise. Right? You can think it, but to say that by yourself right here is not going to work for you. Right? Little things like being discreet, knowing what to say in public, what information you share with people, being discreet, things people don't think about. So it's stuff like that. Also, in Harlem, we had a thing called Stay Sucker Free.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, powerful.
Yeah.
So this idea, like, some of us, we get our friends, man, and where do they come from? They grew up on the block. We went to school with them. Mm-hmm. Maybe went off to college with them. Joined the frat with them, whatever we did. But it's usually a proximity thing. They're close. Right? So we meet them on the block or playing ball in the neighborhood park or whatever, and we friends. And I'm challenging that to say we have to choose our friends based on values and choose our friends based on interest and choose our friends based on where we're trying to go in our lives. Because whale types of rings, and that brother's African centered. Not necessarily. I'm wearing African centeredness, but where what I am is see me every day, see me in the house, have a camera follow me for a week. What's he doing in the morning, noon, and evening? Right? So we had back, if we use the 5% language, they had people they called 5%ers back in the day, and they had job percenters, right? And the job percenters was talking the lessons and but they wasn't really walking that walk. Right? So it's the same thing that is teaching brothers to be discerning, wise, not just to store knowledge in this dome,
Right.
but to know how to apply that knowledge in a way that helps you navigate this earth
Right.
with
Right.
minimal problems and success, you know?
Indeed. Indeed. So take us through the what is it? The table of context in
Yes, sir.
in the book.
Now, what I'm going to do, I have to be discerning with that. I don't want to give it all away, but
Okay.
I'll read some of them because it's 26 principles.
All right.
So each principle is a chapter, right?
All right.
So let me go. Number one, let me get to the table. Number one, I already know is discover your purpose, man. So many brothers running around here, they don't know what they're here to do, brother. And that is rule number one.
Right. Now let's unpack rule number one, right?
Yes, sir.
Because of course we don't want to give them the whole book.
That's right. That's
Right.
right.
So let's unpack rule number one. Now, rule number one, how do you come to find out what your purpose is? Like how did you do that?
Yes, sir. Now I'm gonna give y'all this. I'm gonna give it to you because I want you to know it and because I want you to go out and buy this book and stop playing. Now it's not under my name, it's under my pen name, Wise OG. It's the Wise OG Manhood Code. Okay, so first let me say you must know why you're here. Because that would be like having the fly car, get the Benz coupe, 8-cylinder, 500 horsepower. You got mad gas. You got snacks. You got your lady with you. You bubbling. You got a map. You got Google. You got all Jeep. You got the map, Google Maps, but you don't know where you're going. You don't have any destination. So the first thing when men know and women know why they are here on this earth,
Now, how do you
chances are they stay out of trouble.
uh-huh.
They develop good friendships. They don't waste as much time and money because they waking up on a mission.
Right.
So
Now,
for instance, when I play, yes, go ahead, my brother.
so I want to know, you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I want to know, how do you figure out your purpose? Okay.
Yes.
Now for me, I figure out my purpose when this happens. Now, me personally, I'm a Harlem dude. Like I could go out and go get money. Like I could just go, all right, you know what? I want to make some money. And then I'll just go out there and start making money. And then I go, yeah, I got the money I wanted, I got this I wanted, I got that I wanted, but I got to do something for my people though. It's just always comes to me like that. And sometimes I get mad at the people like, man, they don't want to hear this. They don't want to deal with this. You know what? I'm going to just focus on myself. I focus on myself only for a short period. And then I go, nah, I got to do something for the people. I got to do something I got to do for the people. So it's like, I figured that my purpose is to not only do for myself, but to do for my people.
Okay. That's funny. That's one of the rules is be useful. No matter what you're doing, a man is not supposed to just be an island unto himself. He's supposed to be useful to his home and to his community and to his people. So I definitely bear witness to that. Now, how you discover your purpose? You got to get quiet sometimes. You got to turn the noise out and you got to think and just think and reflect and ask yourself these type of questions. What things do I do so well and so easily that people say, yo, when you bake that cake, play basketball, sing, play the piano, write, it blows me away. And you know this because people will be telling you this all your life. What thing can you do this thing and you can forget to eat, to sleep, forget about your lady, forget about your job, but people don't remind you, you get lost. Time just goes. You could do this all day and you love doing it so much you could do it for free. What things do you wake up and go to sleep thinking about? What things irk you and get under your skin? Sometimes when something really gets under your skin, that's an indication from the universe like, You're supposed to do something about that. That's why you're so upset about it. Now those are some of the general ways. The other ways are they have personality tests. So in the book I talk about there's actual personality tests you can take that are very famous. The Brigger or the Meyer-Briggs test. Depending on where you take it, it may be 50 questions, 75 questions. It'll say something like, I get along with people. When I go to a crowded room, it takes me a while to warm up to people. And you answer these different questions. And you're not supposed to think long. You're supposed to answer quickly and not make up an answer. Mm-hmm. And by the time you do all that, it gives you a code, a 4-letter code. And when you look up that 4-letter code, you can go to the internet and look it up. And it tells you, it breaks, and it's surprisingly accurate. So I had a job when I was teaching at this one school, and the principal, we had a luncheon, like a luncheon, and she had us do it, and then she sat everybody at the table. The INFPs, the INTJs, all sat. And as we talked, we said, yo, yeah, we kind of get along. It was weird. So that's one thing. They have something called the Enneagram test, which measures more what turns you on, how you make decisions, right? And those are two I would use. And then there's a self-survey. Ask yourself certain things. What things are you good at? What things you love doing? What things do people always give you positive feedback? And because we have blind spots, I also suggest that you give that survey to your lady, to your best friend, to one of your best teachers, so you can get what they think. Because we might miss some things, but people who love us and are close to us and know us well may say, no, you were, I remember you were speaking like me. I was speaking in the church when I was really a little kid, and writing poetry and a hip hop MC and doing all this stuff. I played football and all that too, but I was always really good at school, good with anything with vocabulary, good at writing and good at speaking. And I was always in these leadership situations. I never asked to be in there. Say, I want you to be the head of the youth usher board. Okay. I want you to be on the student. You should be on the student council. All right. Right. So those things let me know. I think I'm here to help teach and organize people somehow, some way. Mm-hmm. And when I do those things, I lose track of time. So those are some of the ways you know what you're here to do. And then you'll be put in these different situations in life, and it will come people who always calling you like, yo, man, I'm going through it. I need help. If people doing that with you, you're here to be a healer. You're here to be a counselor. There's no question. You'll know it. People always calling you for different things, or people always coming to you for backup, for protection, or whatever it is. You'll know you'll be able to, if you go back in your life and you say, yeah, I remember so and so used to say this. I remember I gave a speech, man, as an undergrad on Black History Month at this church. I knew the reverend. I didn't ask for no money. I was a student. I finished the speech. I got bubble guts. I'm trying to get out of there. And this older lady says, excuse me, son, come here. I said, yes, ma'am. That was such a great speech. I never felt better, more proud to be a Black woman in all my life. I said, oh, thank you, man. I'm glad you like it. I'm trying to get out, right? And she says, how much did the reverend give you? I said, no, man, I didn't ask for any money. I would feel it's just disrespectful. She said, no, she went in her pocketbook and gave me $50. She said, God has anointed you to speak. I didn't take that very seriously like that, though. Mm-hmm. But I've heard that all my life. Oh, you speak, you write, whatever. So that's what I'm saying. You're going to know, but you got to be quiet and really think and reflect on what were your friends telling you coming up? What were your people telling you? What things do you do naturally? That other people may hate to do that. Man, you still reading that book? God, man. Right? Well, that will give you answers. And when you talk to the people closest to you, they can tell you things that you may have forgotten. And those are really organic ways to find out what you're here to do. And then don't get me wrong. People into astrology and numerology and all that stuff, I'm not going to knock it. I'm not going to support it. But those are also ways that people use to kind of clue into what they are uniquely here to do, and it works for some people. So some people go to that, but I tell you that Myers-Briggs test, brother, and that enneagram are unbelievably accurate.
Meyer Briggs
It's like MEYER dash BRIGGS.
and Enneagram.
Yeah, and I would tell people when you do it, they're gonna give you a free version, and they're gonna try to get you to pay. You don't have to pay. Once you get the code that you are,
Mm-hmm.
you take that code and plug that in on the Google, and you can go anywhere and find out what it means. You don't. You just want to get what are they saying my code is? Well, how are they characterizing me? Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we got purpose, right? Anything else on purpose? I don't want to give them, like I said, like you said before, you don't want to give them the whole book or everything within the book. But let's just go into the second chapter.
Sure. So that was our first chapter. We also have start your day with spiritual strength.
Okay.
Now, what
I
now
like.
what that means
All right.
is I'm a person who believes that men have to be spiritually grounded. Now, that some people will identify a religion, fine. I'm not telling people what to do. But meaning that every morning when we get up, we should start our day. I'm saying we should start our day with it. Not checking your phone, not calling your boo. Maybe you go brush your teeth or whatever. But you come back and it take 10, 15 minutes, man, and go into your prayer. Go into your sacred scripture. Read some verses. Go into your proverbs. Play some music that has deep meaning that resonates with you. That's uplifting. Say I believe in positive affirmations. I believe men should be looking in the mirror and saying, I am powerful. I can accomplish anything that I put my mind to. I am not fearful. I attract abundance. I attract opportunity. Today will be a blessed day. No matter what devil or crazy person comes my way, I will handle them with grace and I will move on. I will not let any negative person or thing hold me back. I believe that. And I believe that and also, I should say, giving thanks. Let me start there. We should be giving thanks. That gratitude attitude is a game changer, brother. That really is. Every time I fix my mouth to complain, I be like, man, I got a billion things I can be grateful for. I got maybe 5 complaints. I got a billion things. So I'm going to focus on them billion things, man, because I find that attracts opportunities and good people and good vibration. And people with great gratitude, the studies show, sleep better, live longer, are happier, and bounce back from hard times better than the people who's always complaining. So I think that's very important. It's so important to me. I start my day with it. I try to do it in the morning and try to do it in the evening, and I incorporate. Mine's is kind of eclectic. I have some Bible verses that resonate with me. I have some. I do some affirmations. I do visualization. That's the other thing. Sit down and I'm thinking about how my day is going to go, what I'm going to get done, how I'm going to blow past all negative thoughts and fears and doubts. I'm going to get stuff done, right? How I'm going to start this business. I'm going to stop procrastinating. I'm doing this today. I'm making this call. I see myself doing it. I believe that is the breakfast of champions. And I know I'm backed up, literally, because superstar athletes do just what I'm telling you. They just don't do the spiritual part. They do the visualization. They see themselves hitting that scoring basket, swimming to the end, being the first one. They see it. That visualization, your brain doesn't know the difference between you when you actually do that and when you're thinking about doing it. And that's deep. If you think about it, that's psychological, but it's deep. So I believe brothers got to start. Now this ain't for the silly brothers. I'm talking about the black men that's trying to be upright and upstanding brothers getting it done. whose names will ring 100 years after they die because of their contribution. Those type of men need to be doing that. And the men who want to be like those type of men really want to do that because that centers you. You know, it morning. And when you do that, man, the day is different. I'm telling you, I could be a witness to that.
So in the morning you start off with I don't know, what you do personally, but you're saying basically start off with, if you're maybe a Christian, but no matter what religion
That's
or
right.
culture, you want to start off with, let's say if you're a Christian, a prayer, and then maybe read some Bible verses.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then after that, positive affirmation.
Yeah, and I think there's room for people to kind of craft it in a way that suits them, because we're all creative in our own way. I know for me, I have eclectic taste. So I may have a poem. Mine is a video. So let me start there. I created my own video. So the video has my master teachers. I have pictures of all these people. And I'm bearing witness to them, saying thank you to the Most High for these people who poured love and knowledge into me. Then I have some Bible verses that's in this video already, so I don't have to go digging them up. I got certain music playing to the background of all of these things. I got Umi Says by Mos Def, you know what I'm saying? I got my pops coming up, who's deceased. I'm bearing witness to him. I got one of my great professors who's deceased. I'm bearing witness to him. I got books I've written come up. I got the school I helped to create in the Bronx about 26 years ago that comes up. So these are these are things you've done with the help of great people and because you were on track. And you can do greater than these things if you stay the course. So these are like these, part of it is inspiring, part of it is reflective. The music gets you hype, like before you play a game or whatever. But it's really powerful. And then I have a vision board. Now this is all in the video. So I might have a picture. I'm gonna lose, this amount of weight by this time. And I have me looking chiseled like I used to be. Right? And I may have best-selling author. Well, whatever, the things you're aiming for. And that's all in this video. I like video because you don't have to do anything. You just play it. I also have Mayat. It ends with the 42 negative confessions of Mayat. I have not taken life. I have not poisoned the grain or the water. I have not caused anyone to cry. Man, we were serious. If you listen to the things we said, that the Ten Commandments, by the way, definitely comes from. When you listen to what they said, you know that we were righteous. It was all about don't harm anybody. That's really what they're getting to. Look, I haven't caused anyone to cry. Whoa,
Yeah.
that's serious. I haven't cursed. I haven't used profanity. It's a lot of these things. And sometimes I go, oh, I did kind of do that. But it's to get you to understand if you're doing these things, these ain't righteous. We're not supposed to be hurting anybody, any living thing, technically, unless we have to. We're supposed to be bringing peace and righteousness and order. As you know, because I know your affiliations, you know what I'm talking about. We're supposed to be the square and the compass, as the Masons would say. We're supposed to bring the law and the order and to enforce the law and the order so that people can live free, babies can grow, don't have to worry about molestation and all this craziness going on, so that our women can go to work, go to school. Nobody's bothering them. Nobody's putting these low expectations on them. Part of that is for men to do, not just men, women too. But the channel is for men, so that's why I'm focusing on men, y'all. If y'all listen, I'm not leaving the sisters out, but my channel is focused on men's development. So that's that morning, that spiritual thing is serious, man. That's rule number 2. Rule number 3, fix your flaws. Whoa.
Fix your flaws.
Fix your flaws.
All right, now, okay, hold on. All right, now, fixing your flaws. How do you? Okay, with me, I'm gonna talk about myself, right? With me, I didn't realize I had certain flaws until like women told me.
And women will tell you.
Right.
That's a fact.
So
They'll tell you.
so I'm like walking around like, yeah, I got it all covered. I got this. I got this. But they like women that explain like details about yourself that you weren't really thinking about. You weren't really thinking about. So how do you figure out your flaws? But besides letting the woman tell you, hey, you messed it up here.
Now, see, that's perfect because in the first chapter we talked about finding your purpose, identifying who you are.
Yeah.
So what happens if people follow my advice, I give them the websites, go to check, take these free tests, they're going to already clue in on some things, right? So this person may be very great at analytical, but they're too analytical and they never trust, they're never intuitive. They're very structured, but they lack spontaneity or whatever. So you'll see certain things. Oh, I got to brush up on that. I have great ideas, but I don't finish it. I don't finish what I start. Or I'm too task oriented and I don't see any. I'm too narrow minded with stuff, right? You'll see that'll come up. But one of the activities is to ask people closest to you. You're asking them to tell you, what are my blind spots? What are the things about me that I don't see that you think if you say I'm an 8 out of 10, this would make me a 10. If I got these things right, I'd be there. And they'll tell you. And like you said, women will definitely tell you, not just your intimate partners, but your mom, your auntie, your grandma, they'll tell you,
Right.
boy, you talk too much. I done heard about what you got. I don't want to hear it. I want to see it. They'll tell you. They'll tell you straight up. Or you procrastinate or whatever it is. But that's the way you but here's the key. Men have to not take their flaws this is going to sound weird, personally. In other words, start with the assumption that you're imperfect. Start with the assumption that you got a lot of goodness in you and you got some stuff in you that gotta go. And you got some stuff in you that kind of gets in the way, but if you could tame it and channel it, it would work. So if you're a person that gets angry and you throwing stuff, slamming doors, breaking dishes, punching people in the face, punching holes in the wall, oh, you got a problem. We got to do something with that.
Right.
Fortunately, some of our flaws we can channel, we can transmute them and change them into positive things. So you could take that and get up early. I'm angry at how our people are treated in this country. I've been angry since I was a kid. I don't like it. I don't like our leaders getting killed. I don't like the way our sisters are treated. Our leaders are assassinated. The food we eating is crap. I don't like it. I don't like Trump and how he's handling this a fascist regime he's trying to create. But instead of me getting all upset and I'm in the ER with a stroke and a heart attack, I take that, brother, and I get up early every day. And I pour that into work. I pour that into books. I pour that into thinking deeply about things, not surface, really thinking and studying stuff so I could better understand how to better serve the people or people I need to get in contact with so we can link up and do some great things together. I pour that into doing them push-ups, good brother, and getting back, making sure I'm them squats. I pour that into physical activity so that anger is transmuted. My point here to say is some flaws, this is going to sound crazy, you will always have. Man, you was who you was before you got here. Didn't Jigga say that to us?
Yeah.
Some stuff, it will always be part of you. Your temper, you don't take violation well, may always be part of you, right? Those things, though, you take them and you flip them because the theory here is that some of your flaws are your superpowers turned inside out.
Ah, I like that.
You feel that?
I like that.
So if you could take that temper, you ain't. When I see this stuff on the news, sometimes I don't even watch the news like that no more because it's just. But when I watch it and I see the brother got killed and the little sister got accident, I take that. I'm angry. James Baldwin said to be a black man is to live in a state of constant rage. He's right and exact. If you have a conscience. So what do? You let that kill you with heart attacks and strokes, or and temper tantrums and domestic abuse, or you turn around and say, I'm going to write about that. I'm going to study that. I'm going to stay out. I'm going to get up early. I'm going to push myself. I'm going to take that energy, because that's energy. That's a lot of rage is a lot of high energy, and you could take that, man, and be a successful entrepreneur. You can do all types of stuff, and now no one is getting hurt by your rage. You're not getting hurt by your rage, and you're taking the rage to actually create something beautiful to help people. So I do want people to know that when I say fix your flaws, I'm saying pay attention to the things about you that get in the way of you being your best self, that rob you of your potential. So your purpose was, I'm going to be a great podcaster, and I'm going to be known. I'm going to teach people, but you're late all the time. Let's say, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's telling you, I can't do this. I got to make sure I'm prompt. So I got to work on that. That's something you can get rid of. But there's some core stuff, brother, that's part of us, man. And so we have to be honest about those things, and then make a commitment to transmute them, to take them and turn them inside out, and to use those flaws to make us better people is what I'm trying to say. You know?
All right. That's a fact. That's a check. That's a check. Let's go into one more thing before we close out. Let's go
Yes,
into,
sir.
like as we said, we went to 1, 2, and 3, right?
We sure did. 1, 2, and 3. And let's see what
And
else
there's
we got.
26 of them.
26.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to skip. I want to skip this one. Well, it's technically stop whining and complaining. We can go with that. I was taught that men that it's unmanly. And I know that's a controversial term to use these days, right? Because we have different sexuality kind of debates and arguments. But
Mm-hmm.
I was taught it was unmanly for a man to be standing around, complaining about everything wrong in his life, everything that didn't go right, whining and complaining. I was taught that men are supposed to be problem solvers, people who bring remedy or are part of bringing remedy. And I hearken back to this Chinese proverb, brother. It is one of my favorite. And it goes like this. It is better to light a candle than it is to curse the darkness. I want people to think about that. You in a room, your lights go out. Somebody either didn't pay the bill or it's a mistake from Con Ed. Lights out. Now you there with whoever you with, one of y'all is mad, throwing stuff around, cursing, upset because the lights are off and they were in the middle of doing something. Does that help? Does that bring the lights on? You curse in the darkness, but brother, it's still dark. Another one of you is wise. He says, you know what, while he doing all that, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to get some candles, some matchsticks. Obviously something that doesn't require electricity for light. You figure that this may be just for the night, and then tomorrow your lights will be on, right? So while one is getting worked up, upset, temper tantrums, and it's not helping, the other one has the remedy. So that's what they're telling you. It's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. Men are supposed to address the issue, identify the issue accurately,
Mm-hmm.
and then propose or enact remedy. That's what Malcolm did. That's what Minister Farrakhan has done. That's what Brother Khalid Muhammad did. That's what so many of our greats did. They saw a problem. They identified it. We got to do something. So what did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad do? He came to the wilderness of North America. He said, man, my people are eating this god-awful swine. Lord, we got to get them off that swine.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the teachings? Well, it's cat, rat, and dog. Right. That's disgusting. You think of that, you don't want to eat that, right? But also introducing healthy stuff. Navy beans. How does he do it? They say buy navy beans? No, he puts it in a pie. And now he got you eating introducing you to beans or squash. I think they call it, what was that called? Butternut?
Butternut squash.
Yes, sir. So it's certain things that he did He saw a problem with our diet. He also wrote a book called How to Eat to Live.
Right.
And if I can be honest, as a young dude, I said, no disrespect, I was young. I said, I respect Honorable Elijah Muhammad for what he did with the religion, but he's not a nutritionist. I don't know if this. And guess what? 20 something years later, I realized when he said eat one meal a day, he was right. I couldn't believe it. They have a thing now called intermittent fasting.
Right.
They say he's certain amount of times you don't eat, certain amount of hours, and a certain window of time you do eat.
Right. That's
And it's hard to do for people. They said, but if you can do one meal a day, you give your body a chance to rest and not have to digest food. It's stuff he said in the book years ago. So he saw a problem, he diagnosed it, and he didn't just see a problem and diagnose. He put forth solution that made people who took those remedies better people. You see people in the Nation of Islam be 80, 90, they look good. Good posture, clear skin, amazing.
right.
Brother Farrakhan is what, 90, what, 4?
I think 93.
I mean, so that's what men, and if I could be honest, women are supposed to do that too. So I got to keep saying, I don't want people thinking I'm leaving the sisters out, but this is a male-oriented thing I'm talking about. The brothers got to stop complaining every 5 minutes about what they don't like, what's going wrong in their life, who did what to them. Diagnose the problem and come with solution.
Brother, I want to talk about that, man. I always say, right, like with my grandparents, with my grandfather, like, so I grew up grandmother, grandfather, mother, father, all that. But my grandfather, I always paid attention to him because he never really spoke.
Mm.
But when he said something, everyone would listen because he meant what he said, and it was just like pinpoint sharp, right on target. I never heard him complain. I never heard him argue with anyone. And my grandmother, she was a little feisty back in the days, right? So she would go on and on and on and on. And so my grandfather would say a few things and then go, all right, Esther, and leave it alone. He would leave it alone.
That's discipline too. He's displaying a lot of stuff.
Right. He was in the military and everything.
Discipline, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I always think about him when I think about my own manhood. Like, am I like my grandfather? Like, I want to be like my grandfather, like how he was. He was just so, I never saw him in a panic. He was never in a panic. He never complained. And when he spoke, it meant something.
Yes, sir. That's like my grandfather, on my father's side. He was just like my grandmother was very outgoing, talk on the phone, talk, very like that. And he was just very quiet. And you knew him through his work. And that's another rule. That people should know who you are by what you're doing. That's your best testimony in life ain't what you running your mouth about. It's what you put here on this earth, what you're doing. And think about it. Whatever you do the most, that's who you are. If you lie all the time, what are you?
If you're high all the time, you said?
If you lying all the time, you're a...
High all the time, you're a liar. Yeah.
If you challenging the enemy, then you're an activist, a protester.
Right.
If you not doing what you say, when you say you're going to do it, you're a procrastinator. It's not what you do every now and then. It's what you do consistently that defines who you are. Right? Because all of us have ego, say things maybe we shouldn't say, we get tight, but ultimately what defines you is what you're consistently doing. Consistently. And it's the consistent things that make or break us. So if you think about it, what do we do every day? We eat, we sleep, we release waste.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things we got to do. Now, if we can get it where the things we want to do, part of our culture, is every day like that, imagine somebody that used to be a tip top shape, about 195, ripped. Now they're 395. 20 years later. Did that happen in a week? That
Happen.
happened every one of them days that we're eating and not exercising, right? That's the cumulative effect. So what I'm saying is take that science and reverse it. Wait a minute. If I do negative things a little bit every day, 20 years, one day I'm going to pay for that. So guess what? If you do beautiful things a little bit every day, you're going to pay for that in a beautiful way. It's the same thing. So they got this thing now. They say like, yo, do 25 push-ups twice a day, every day. It's not too much where your body can heal, and also 25 squats twice a day. Right? They say you get the same effect as if you did this really long workout. Now I don't know if that's true or not, but I've been trying it. And that's where I'm trying to get the brothers to see. You don't have to be Michael Jordan in this life, bro. You got to be your best dude. And you do that not on holidays, not on your birthday, not when you feel great. You do it every day. A little bit. Turtle philosophy, like a turtle, the turtle and the rabbit, remember?
Yeah.
That's the same thing. The rabbit was the hare wasn't supposed to win that. The rabbit was too fast, but the rabbit got arrogant, went to sleep in the middle of a race because he's so far ahead. What did the turtle do? He never stopped. That's the secret. Consistency. And when our people get that, it's gonna be it's over. When we get, oh, I don't have to have the biggest this and be the loudest. No, you gotta do that good thing consistently. There's people that learn one word a day for a whole year. They got 365 new words. And there's other people that they'll do it, they'll come up. Nah, it ain't though every now and then. It's the consistency. And it's actually easier that way. You know, so if I eat a bunch of apple pies and chocolate cakes every day, maybe I don't cut it all out. Maybe I say, you know what, I'm gonna stop all the apple pies. So now for this next year, you haven't eaten no apple pies. Now you can start saying, I'm gonna cut out the chocolate cakes. It's the little so we're trying to teach people the science of transformation. That's how you change. You know, that's because who you are your habits. Habits don't come or go easily. Although I did quit smoking cold turkey about 5 years ago because of health related things. Right? You could do it, but it's so much easier to do this thing incrementally. You can go to the gym. Here's people go. You're a fitness brother, so you heard people go to the gym. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I go in there. I do 8 hour. I go to the gym for 8 hours. Oh, good luck with that. Let's see how long you're gonna do that. Nah, that's not practical. But if you say I can do half an hour a day, that person will most likely stick with that, and they might get into a longer duration. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah. So that's some of what's in it. Oh, and also after those 26 principles, now you get the actual real thing, because this says the manhood code. Those are the principles. After those 26 principles comes the code. The code is a 1-page document. It's an oath. It's something that probably you should memorize, but it's saying this is how I get down as a man. These are things I do. These things I don't do. So I could tell you one of them is I don't gossip. I think lie, and I forget the other one. So it's telling you how our speech is telling you that I bring peace and order to situations. You know, it's telling, but for people to get that, they got to go through them 26 principles, and they'll see why they need that code in their life when they start going through playing all these things back. Also, each chapter has 4 reflection questions at the end so that you can really think about it. You know, so like when I talk about suckers, okay, we talking about the suckers, but why do you keep having friends that suckers? What's that say? What's that say about you? Right? So now you got to ask yourself, wait a minute, what does that say about me? Because sometimes we have all men can have an element of a sucker. Sometimes we act in a way we shouldn't, right? But some people, that's just who they are. So everything has the reflection questions, because you can't just take this knowledge. You got to think about it, and you got to say, how does this apply to me? Is what he's talking about in this book, did I do this? Did this happen to me? And when it happened to me, how did I deal with it? Because ultimately this is about making how we move, how we make decisions. So it's a lot covered, but that's essentially what we're getting at. And I'm hoping that if brothers understand them and try to internalize the rules, because there's people that know the 10 Commandments backwards, but they break 8 of them. So this ain't just about knowing it. It's about, I know it, and this is going to be part of my life. Like fitness, for you, brother, I could tell fitness ain't a hobby you fiddle with. That's part of your life. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's pretty much my culture.
There it is. So it has to be like that. It's got to be something that you waking up, and this is part of who you are.
Yeah.
Not like a coat you put on and take off, but it's part of your nature, your culture.
Yeah, for sure. Indeed. So on that note, brother, man, this was a very refreshing conversation. Normally on this podcast we talk about like information and things like that, but this is for the mind, and if you want to call spirit. This and I really enjoyed this, brother. I would greatly appreciate if you come back on again. And man, anyone out there watching, man, please make sure you go buy The Wise OG. Where do I get this book?
Yes, sir. You go right to Amazon, and you're going to type in not my actual name. You're going to type in the pen name, the Wise OG, or the Wise OG Manhood Code. It'll come right up.
All right. Tell the people where they can find you, social medias and such, before we close out.
Yes, sir. Well, we have a channel called Harlem Liberation School online that is teaching more of what you probably typically talk about. That's the straight up talking about black nationalism, Pan-Africanism, politics, white supremacy. But if you type in my name, as you see on the screen, whole bunch of you'll get to my link tree, and that'll take you to everything. Gotcha. If you type in my name, a whole bunch of stuff will come up. Hopefully some of it good.
Indeed. On that note, thank you for coming out again. Peace to everyone in the chat. Peace to all the viewers. Again, I'm gonna keep reiterating this. I'm gotta be annoying. I don't like to be annoying about telling people about money. However, we're in the business of podcasting, so I have to. So hit the like, comment, share, subscribe button. Also, we have super chats. If you would like to donate $100 to $5, we'll take anything. Also, we have a Cash App, which is $ NYP Talk Show. Cash App $NYP Talk Show. Thank you for coming out this evening, and we are on tomorrow talking to a retired police officer. We're talking to a retired police officer tomorrow, 7 p.m. It's going to be an interesting podcast. Thank you for coming out this evening, and we are out of here. Peace.
Peace.